All right, we're live. Hey, everybody. Thanks for
Hello.
joining. This is Bill. I am founder of Spotlightr, and I'm with my partner in crime, Peter.
Hello, everyone.
Once again, thank you for joining. And just if you can just give a little hello in the chat and let us know that you can
there's
hear
Dean.
us.
Hello, Dean.
What's up, Dean?
Tracy. A lot of familiar names. Lissa, Frank. Hello, everyone.
You guys can hear us okay? Sounds good. Yes. Okay, cool. Switzerland checking in.
Tampa, Florida.
Steven from San Fran. JR's in Tampa. What's up, JR? I just moved. Well, our office is based in Tampa. I just moved to the Orlando area 2 weeks ago. Belize, Israel. Cool. All right. So this should probably take about 30, maybe 40 minutes. We're not going to be on forever today. As you know from the emails that we sent out, we're just basically going to be talking about what we've been up to, what came out first quarter this year, what we've been working on pretty much past 6 months since we became Spotlightr. And we want to talk about our gallery module, which we just put out, and let you guys know about what's coming up. And then obviously we'll take all your questions as you have them. As I sort of talk and as Peter talks and we're going through this stuff, go ahead and ask your questions in the chat, and we'll wait till the end to answer them all, but we'll just sort of scroll up and check all those questions and circle back to them at the end. So today's agenda, like I just said, our new video player, and what we pretty much been working on the last 6 months was our rework of our pretty much entire infrastructure. A few small features that we want to let you guys know about in case you missed it in our blog posts. Talk about the gallery module, the roadmap, and the Q&A. So at this point, I'm going to pass it off to Peter, and he's going to talk a little bit about our player and our infrastructure.
Yeah, thanks. Let me just see if I can share my screen. So my screen should be visible. So as Bill mentioned, the new player and infrastructure is an overhaul of basically everything that Spotlightr has to offer, both from its platform to its streaming services and hosting providers and everything, basically. So we just revamped everything. So that's probably the reason why you haven't been seeing a lot of us. As I'm seeing a lot of familiar names, I'm really glad to be back in touch with the audience on a call like this, because previously, as a lot of you who are long-term Spotlightr and previously Voo Player users know, we've had these calls previously maybe once a week or so, maybe once in every couple of weeks. So we've been in the trenches over the last 6 months, maybe even longer, maybe a year or so, basically reimagining the entire platform in a way that's much more scalable. So that it's now a platform which can grow to infinity as much as we need it to grow, and in that offer a much better experience for both you as viewers and for both you as users, as well as for you viewers. So as Bill mentioned, a lot of stuff has changed. So the new player, as we're referring to it, the 4.2 version of the player is now the default player inside of the application, and that's basically a completely new application that's serving your videos now. And aside from all of the regular optimizations that we continually make, such as performance optimizations, making sure that the player is more usable on mobile devices and across different experiences and browsers, it's just a completely different player that I hope a lot of you had a chance to experience. And as I mentioned, the primary goal behind driving this in a different application, even a different programming language, is really to serve a very different experience. So over here on the left side, you can see how the previous version of the player performed. So we have load times of about 2.5 seconds, whereas the new player is loading in 0.7 seconds. So that's a difference of over 1.5 seconds. So just wanted to highlight some differences in how that new player is behaving and how it should result in much faster both loading experiences and your video basically starting to play. What else? Bill also mentioned the migration to AWS. So yeah, now all of our servers, databases, CDN services, and everything has been moved to AWS. Previously, we've been housing our entire platform across many different services, both for CDN, for application, and so on. And that has had its benefits, and basically a lot of it has to do with how we started this off maybe 5 years ago. Basically building it piece by piece and then running into roadblocks, both from the side of technology as well as from cost effectiveness. So we've decided to kind of reimagine everything and move everything into one centralized location, which makes it a lot easier for us to manage and distribute and deploy stuff much faster and have it on, as I said, a much more scalable platform. With that, bandwidth has improved significantly. So streaming services for CDN across the globe have tripled in the location of edge servers, of endpoints, which are available to your viewers, as well as a lot of improvements have been made to the actual process of using the application, as far as the editor of the player, both on the usability side of things, making the player and the application much more easier to understand, as well as perform much better. That's the main editing application, meaning that the uploads are now much faster. There are no bottlenecks in the conversion process. So basically now we can have thousands and thousands of videos converting simultaneously without any of them being dependent on each other. So previously we had a lot of issues with that, where once you hit 100 or 200 videos converting at the same time, we were in severe bottlenecks, meaning that sometimes conversions were delayed up for a few hours or 24 hours. So that's no longer the case. So basically, the more you get to explore Spotlightr now, the more you're going to get a picture of everything that's new if you haven't been using the application recently. And as Bill mentioned, we've outlined all of this on our blog post. So do visit our blog at spotlightr.com/blog. So there are a lot of release notes there, as well as some technical stuff that's available in our docs. So docs.spotlightr.com. That has a whole series of the release notes for 4.2 and everything that's been released within it, as well as sort of the ideas and methodologies of why we did things differently and what's so different now. And of course, if you're not using 4.2 at this point, if you're using 4.1 and are kind of stuck, you think you're stuck with it, in terms of I have thousands and thousands of players embedded across many different websites, so how am I going to switch to 4.2? So just so you are aware, we do have a moving from, I forgot what the article is called, migrating from 4.1 to 4.2 player. So there's an article here with instructions on some scripts which you can grab and platforms that you may be using that will allow you to migrate all of your videos if you have a lot of embeds across your platforms. Basically, the only difference between the players is this middle part of the link, which is in 4.2 is watched, in 4.2 is published. So basically 4.1 is still available and active and running and supported, but won't be forever. So that's why we're now using 4.2 on which we're getting much better feedback from our users, i.e. you. So, and I'm seeing in chat that a lot of people are already pleased with 4.2, and we'll be getting a lot of good feedback on both the new features which are within it, as well as the performance and the experience that it has to offer to viewers. So that's, I believe, so sort of in a nutshell, as I said, a lot more can be explored in the blog and in the docs. Couple of new features that we've also added that we want to highlight in case you missed them. We've added a IP watermark, as well as option to set a default resolution for your player. So the IP watermark is a security feature, which, as you know, Spotlightr, one of our main value propositions is the security of your content on everything that we offer, from HLS encoding to domain restrictions to password protection, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we've been always getting a question, well, that's all great and fine, but how do I protect somebody who has a valid access to the video from simply recording their screen and then distributing that content, basically bootlegging it? So as a measure to protect that, we've introduced, let me see if I can activate that on this video. So there's an option over here where you can activate an IP watermark, and that's basically going to display the watermark over the video with the IP of the current person viewing the video. So if they record that content, that will be, and we have options additionally for personalizing that and positioning that coming. So you'll have more control over it. But in general, now somebody recording this will be identified, so that if you end up seeing your content leaked somewhere, you're more easily available to identify who stole it. So that's one feature that we've added recently. And also, my mouse is lost somewhere. There it is. So let me grab another video. So one more thing that we've added recently is the option to control the bandwidth consumption of your video usage in different contexts. So if you have a video, but you want to force it to play at a lower resolution, i.e. consume less bandwidth, you can enable the resolution which will load by default. So this video is 1080. So in addition to 1080, I can select 720 or 360. So let's go ahead and select 360. And you can apply this option both on the embed code as well as on the watch page link if you want to share it that way. So I'll just grab this embed code and I'll paste it in here just as a demo. So here's the player, and now that I load it, we'll see that the 360 resolution is loaded by default, whereas otherwise the highest resolution available would be loaded. So that's just an option that gives you more control over your bandwidth consumption and how you want to control who's seeing what quality. Sometimes in some contexts you may want to force the highest resolution, sometimes lowest. Now you have complete control over that experience. Those are the new features that we've added, and I'll pass it back off to Bill to introduce you to our new gallery module that we've added.
Cool, thanks, Peter. Let's go to our slides. And let's go to galleries. Okay, so just to recap real quick on what Peter sort of went over there and give you sort of a little bit of a timeline here. So 2020 was, it was a crazy year for everybody for obvious reasons. And it was even crazier for us because we went through a buyout. As you may or may not know, we bought out a former business partner and rebranded to Spotlightr back in the summer of last year, July. I believe that it was finalized in August. From around that time, that's really actually a little bit before that is when we started on the new player. And then a little bit after that is when we started on the new infrastructure. And that new player and new infrastructure really took up the bulk of the fall of last year, most of the summer. And then we started to roll that out at the beginning of this year. So we already have so many features that we're sort of really careful now as far as what we're going to be releasing going forward. As far as 2021 is concerned, as we'll talk about in a minute, the features that we're going to be working on, there are some big features that we're going to be working on and releasing, and we're also going to be working on simplifying things and sort of reworking some things based on a lot of feedback we've gotten in the past year or two. Because of the rebrand and the buyout, I've been able to, and Peter and I have been able to sort of take things in a better direction that we like, as opposed to how it was previously. So I believe the infrastructure rollout pretty much finished around Christmas, just after New Year's, which was a huge undertaking, and the player rollout began in January, early February. And we're working on bug fixes on that. As I mentioned, and you guys know that we have so many features that no matter how much testing we do on our end, there's still going to be a lot of bugs that are found. And we've worked a lot in the last couple months squashing all those bugs. And we're comfortable now with sunsetting 4.1. If you're wondering about 4.1 on your old videos, how that's going to work, those players will work for a while. Eventually we will completely sunset it. We have no date in mind right now, so I wouldn't even worry about that at this point. But if you can, you should start migrating your embed codes over. And like Peter said, if you do have so many videos, you can take advantage of that script that we set up so that you don't have to change every single embed code. If you have a specific case that you want to talk to us about, you can always reach out to us at the help desk, and we'll go over with you what your best plan of action should be. So if you have any other questions on that, leave them in the chat. We'll come back to that. Peter touched on a couple of new features that we did just release in the last 6 weeks or so. Galleries is something we've been working on for a couple months now. Just released it. First we released it with the ability to only lock down the galleries with access codes. And now we're able to collect payments with galleries. But before I sort of get into all that, let me just play we made a little promo video that runs through the high level features of the gallery. And let me just play that real quick, and then I'll come back and start talking about it some more.
Are you a content creator, coach, blogger, marketer? Let's put a spotlight on your videos. Our newest feature has just been released, Spotlightr Galleries. Showcase as much or as little of your video content all on one page, and customize the entire look and feel of your gallery. Then publish it immediately. And with our access code management, you can control who can see the gallery and for how long. For example, expire your gallery after a certain amount of time, or even on a certain date. And coming soon, Spotlightr Galleries will be the quickest, easiest way to charge for your videos. Connect your Stripe account with Spotlightr and set up your one-time fee or subscription payments in mere minutes. Spotlightr, the modern video platform for small businesses.
Okay, so why did we make galleries? We made them because we have so many people, educators, coaches. First off, they have video content. They want to serve it to their students. And whether or not they collect payments for those videos, they want an easy way to organize all their content and structure the content. And they like the idea of having to use one piece of software like Spotlightr in order to do that, as opposed to putting everything on WordPress or any other platform out there. There's plenty of them, right? So, the idea of uploading everything on Spotlightr, organizing everything, publishing everything, and doing it all within Spotlightr was something that we got asked about a lot. So that's one of the reasons. They want to be able to organize and serve their content from one place. Another reason is they want to receive payments for those videos. Whether you teach guitar lessons or teach people how to train your dog, or whatever it is that you do, whatever your niche is, you're collecting payments, monthly, yearly payments, one-time payments for those videos from your customers. Now, obviously, you can create a WordPress website, get a membership script or a membership theme, set all that up, put it all through WooCommerce or whatever it is. There's lots of different ways you can connect all that. And again, we had a lot of requests of, hey, I want to be able to do this. I don't want to have to set up a whole WordPress website. I don't want to go through all that work. I just want it easy. I want it quick. So that all sort of built into the idea of galleries. So we'll show you a few examples after I sort of go through some of these use cases, but just so you understand, what you can sort of use them for. I sort of touched on it a little bit already, but if you're an educator, you can set up a gallery and section it off by weeks or by months, by course content, and everything will be nice and organized for you and for your students all in one place. And you can even set up multiple galleries for multiple subjects. Let's say you have a gallery for math and a gallery for English. You can put it all in the same gallery. It's all very customizable, so you can do it however you want. And as you can see, if you haven't already checked it out, when we do show you some examples, it does just allows you to organize it a much easier, much better way. Anybody who creates content, if you're a comedian or an actor, or you create funny videos, or you're a travel blog, or you're any type of hobby blogs, and you use other platforms like YouTube to collect revenue. A lot of people want something different. This would be sort of like a Patreon, alternative to Patreon. I'm sure you know about Patreon. So this is an alternative to that, where you can upload your content and name what you want, how you want to collect that payments, monthly payments, yearly payments, one-time payments, and that's all connected through Stripe. So we already have documentation up on docs.spotlightr.com. It's super easy. If you don't have a Stripe account already, it takes about 10 minutes to submit your information. Once you submit your information, they just ask you, they'll generally email you for some documentation like, proof of identity, proof of address, stuff like that. I mean, you can get an account approved in a day or two. Once that's done, it's really a matter of just two clicks to connect to Spotlightr. And then if you're going to have subscription payments, you add the product in Stripe. Very easy to do. Again, we have instructions on that. If it's going to be a one-time payment, you don't even need to set anything up on Stripe. You can just set up the price in Spotlightr and you're selling in just a few minutes. So if you want an easy way to do all that without, again, of course you can set up a WordPress site and you can use our embed code and put on, that's a fine way to do it if that's what you want to do. If you want an easier, quicker way to do it, you don't want to go through all that hassle, you can use our galleries. So again, content creators, an alternative to Patreon. It's a good alternative. So again, coaches, same idea. If you're a life coach, or you're a even like baseball coaches, we have all types of people that do all types of coaching in all different aspects of life. You can get paid by your students directly, name your price, and they get the checkout is really quick for them. As you'll see in the examples and the help documentation, it all sets up and it all sets up quick and easy, and it's also quick and easy for your customers. It's not just payments that you can use for the galleries. You can keep your galleries open. You don't need to lock it down at all. If you just want to have a way to serve your videos in an organized way to your audience, you can use galleries for that, and you can just keep it completely open. And it's the same idea as any of other videos. No one can see your galleries unless you publish the watch link somewhere to your galleries, or you can actually embed the galleries into your websites already. So you can keep them completely open. So you got payments, you got to keep it open. Then the third way is access codes. This is really probably the most requested feature that we've had in a while, and what sort of really drove the galleries. That wasn't just the paid stuff, but the access codes. People want to be able to control access to their content for one reason or another. We have different ways you can do that. One way is you can control how many times a code is used. So let's say you set up a gallery, you add 10 videos, and you set up 5 codes. You can send a code to somebody and you can tell them it's only going to work 5 times. All right, so all 5 codes will only work 5 times each. All 10 codes will only work 2 times each. You can configure that however you want. That's one way. The second way is by expiration. So you can set up 100 codes and just disperse them to your audience and say, here's the video content. It's going to expire on August 10th. And on August 10th, the codes will no longer work. The last way is, was it time limit, Peter? Blanket here.
An expiration from unlock, so
Right,
give the person an access to the gallery, and then once they use their code, have that period, have that access be valid for period X, whatever, 2 weeks, 1 day, whatever.
Yes,
I'll gladly demonstrate all of those in the demo. Yeah.
So we have a lot of, like, for example, I have a sales here. We have salespeople that said, listen, I have content I want to send to my prospects or my customers, but it's leaking out to my competitors. So they want to be able to expire that stuff so the competitors can't use it indefinitely without having to manually go and take down pages. So they'll tell their prospects, hey, here's some information that's valid for you, that's relevant to you. Check it out, but you only have a week to check it out, and adds a little urgency to your prospects as well. So again, there's a lot of different uses for them. I just went through a few there. A lot of coaches, a lot of educators, a lot of just pretty much a lot of content creators that want to collect payments and use those access codes to create scarcity and urgency to their videos, and that's what really drove us to creating galleries. Now, what we would love for you guys to do is go ahead and use those galleries, and keep in mind that this is the first version of galleries that's been released. We would love to know how you're using it, who your audience is, and what your use case is, and let us know how we can improve it to make your life easier. We really, it's a very much working first version. You can set up all the access codes and payments and everything, but we purposely didn't make it super feature rich because we're waiting for feedback from you guys. Now you can customize it by adding background images and background videos and change the theme from light to dark. But there's other things we want to do, like change the way all the videos look, and change the configuration of how the videos are. Like right now, it's sort of like a Netflix style where it's a line of videos, a section and a line of videos. You'll see that in a second. But we want to change, give some options for that as well. So use them. Let us know. Don't be shy. Let us know what your use case is. Let us know how you can what we can do to make that feature better. I think that's what this slide is here. Yeah, start using it. Tell us about your use case. Let us know what missing features are important to you. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look how they work. You want to show a little bit, Peter?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this has been live in the application for some while now, and just to clarify from the video said the payments are coming soon, but they are actually available right now. So today you can connect your Stripe account to the payments and get going on receiving payments. And we've been amazed by the amount of people who are already using this without sort of any external promotion from our end, basically just running this in the beta mode and having it available for people, and hundreds of people have already started using this in many different contexts. And as Bill said, this is version 1 that we're demonstrating for you, and we already received a lot of great feedback on improvements that we can make and additional features, as well as additional currencies that we can support, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of feedback already, and that's what we're really looking forward to. That's sort of our call to action from this webinar, is go use galleries and tell us what you think about them, and how you would like to use it, and how we can meet your use cases there. So I won't bore you with all of the details that require you to connect your Stripe account and so on. I'll just dive right into the demos for these features. As Bill mentioned, you can easily customize these to your heart's content, from changing the fonts, different various appearance options for themes, trailers that you can add, background images, background videos. Soon we'll start introducing also different layouts, grids for the display of the video, how you want them to display, like a slider gallery or a typical YouTube channel type grid and so on. So there's going to be a lot of different options that you'll have in appearance. That's one of the points on we would like your feedback on different playback configurations, how you want your videos to play, can they be skipped, and so on and so on and so on. So basically how they work is that gallery is broken down into different sections. So you basically add a section, you give it a name, and you add videos to it. It's that simple. So you create you can have only one video if you want, or you can have unlimited number of sections with unlimited number of videos within them. And that's about that. You just basically add your videos, all of the configurations from the individual videos that you've made to them. So if you've customized the appearance, and if you have overlays and callouts in any of these single videos, they'll naturally continue to work as they would individually in the gallery itself. So that's all about content. This big section over here is just content, basically just sectioning and organizing the content of the gallery by your videos. There is, as Bill mentioned, 3 different access types. There's an open access type, basically meaning anybody who has this link or is available to view the gallery wherever it's embedded can do so. So we can just look at it, at how it looks like, but that's just an open gallery, so with no access. So here it is. It's basically, as I mentioned, customizable with regards to the appearance and the themes. And number one requested feature thus far has been add a logo that you want for your gallery. So there's a lot of, you can have a description of your gallery, the title of it. You can have a trailer video, which is available to be previewed. And then you have all of your sections and the individual videos within those sections. And of course, the viewer can just select which video they want to start viewing, and that's just going to start playing within the gallery. And it will continue to play based on your playback configurations one by one, or they can skip, and so on and so on. So basically they can browse this content. Additional feedback that we've been getting for improvements here is that it will be great to sort of track progress of viewing for viewers, so that once they come back, they can see, all right, I already watched this video, I watched this video 50%, and so on and so on. So basically this is an open gallery. I've just created it as a simulation of a fencing class that's online, so that somebody can learn about different aspects of what it's like to get into fencing. So that's the open gallery type. So let me show you how this is paid. Let's do codes. So in codes, basically everything works the same as far as the content and the configuration goes, but you get an additional option to configure these codes. So I'll just come over here and create some new codes. So I don't know, I'll create 2 new codes, and those codes can, as Bill outlined, either expire never, expire after a certain number of unlocks, expire on a particular date, or expire. So if I'll create 2 codes and they'll expire, whatever, 3 weeks after they've been created. So I can just create those codes, and they're added now, so that you can just copy them and give them to your users. Or alternatively, as somebody already asked in the webinar, as a use case for this is, how can affiliates leverage this, or how can you connect this to different platforms to generate access? We also have an API prepared to generate these access codes on demand, so that you can just hit a URL and get a code back based on the access parameters that you want. So how this looks like is basically the same, except it has let me just grab one of these codes. So this one has been used, this one has been used 72 hours. Let me just grab this latest one. So not this. So it's basically the same gallery. It only has a gate in front of it, not allowing you to to enter it without having that code. Either that, or once you use a code, you're prompted to create a username and password, i.e. email and password combo, that you can use instead of that code, so the viewer doesn't necessarily need to remember that code every time they want to come back. So I can be viewer, I don't know what I'm up to, viewer 4 at demo.com. And let me just copy that as a password. I don't know if I have an extra space here or not. It looks like I did. So I'm not going to save that password. So gallery access granted. So basically now I'm acting as same way as previously with the previous gallery. So that's about that. You just basically unlock that, and the next time I come back to this gallery, instead of accessing it with the code, I can just click on sign in and enter with the email and password combo that I created. So that's the access code restriction to the gallery. In addition to which, finally, we have the payment option. So when you're configuring this, again, everything the same, with the exception that now when you're configuring paid access, you have two options. One, which is a subscription, which will pull in the plans that you have available on your Stripe account. So this one is configured to be $66 per year subscription. That's the product is created on Stripe. Or alternatively, you can have a one-time payment. That's basically just charge a person once and they have access. And I forgot to mention the same that I mentioned now applies also to codes. So for all of those accesses and access codes, you can manually manage them, manually expire them, extend their access, and so on as you wish. So here for payment access codes, I can view all of these people who have paid on Stripe. I can manage them, see all of the videos that they've viewed, basically. And in codes, it's a little bit different, but you have a lot of management options to those accesses that have been granted. So let me see where I have. So here's that payment one. So, or is it, let me just make sure. This is my weekly coaching course. This isn't the one. This is the payment one, I believe. Wrong one. Yeah, so here's the payment one. It's the same one, just with the paid option. So again, a viewer can sign in with credentials if they're already created. Otherwise, they are checking out. So once they click on checkout, they're taken to a checkout page where they, I am what now? Viewer 5 at demo.com. And I'll just enter in testing card info, which I didn't do right. 4242424242. And I'll just hit subscribe. Interesting thing to note about payments as well is that will help you manage a lot of the stuff, such as the management of the subscription and the verification of those payments and the refunds and stuff like that. So once you connect your Stripe account to us, we can also provide any additional admin support on the back end with regards to managing of those subscriptions, as well as viewers themselves, as you'll see soon, have the option to manage those subscriptions. So I've logged in here now with that payment successfully verified. So now I can start browsing content and again log in with those credentials later on. So here's that gallery, same with the option to unlock it via payments, either subscriptions or one time. That's it. Basically, as Bill mentioned, there's a lot of docs already available on all of those options and configuration of appearance and playback and so on. All of that's available in the docs under gallery module, so you can explore it. And the most important thing of all is just give it a go, try it out with a use case that you have in mind for your videos, and just let us know what your feedback is and what's missing from this that will make this an indispensable tool for your business.
Cool. Okay, so if you have any questions on that, please go ahead and continue to leave them in the chat. We'll circle back to them. Let's see. Let me go back to slides. I think next we're going to talk about roadmap real quick. We're okay on time, I guess. So second quarter of this year, galleries. As we've already gone through, first version is out. We're going to keep updating that, and as we get feedback, and we'll keep those updates on our blog. So whenever you want to see what's up, what's coming up, or what's been released recently, go to our blog. We generally put out release notes every 2 months. So I think one is due this month, actually. So we'll have a new article out in about a week. What's today's date? 20th? Yeah, so about a week. As I mentioned earlier in the call, is one of the things we're looking to do is just to streamline our user interface a little bit more, make things easier and more simple to use. We've already started on a lot of that. We consolidated a lot of those accordions that we had on the right side of our video editing page. We just released some updates today that makes the some of those panels, when you edit a feature and you have the panels that come out from the right side, some of our features, they weren't they weren't consistent with how you save them and how you enable them and disable them. So we streamlined all that to make it easier for you to enable, disable, save them. So it can make more sense to you, and you'll see that as you check the overlays and other features that have a panel. Basically now we have one toggle switch to enable or disable it, and one save button instead of, we had a couple of features that had multiple save buttons for one reason or another, and we sort of reworked all that to make it easier. The custom thumbnail, something that a lot of people use. That's one of the most popular features, and we're going to rework how that looks to you, make that easier and simpler for you to use, and also add a video posters or video thumbnails to that as well. These will actually they're not going to be GIFs. They're actually going to be a video thumbnail. The video thumbnails they're lighter and they just work better than GIFs. So the work on that is actually already done. We just need to rework the user interface to include that video thumbnail feature. So that'll be coming out the next, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And bandwidth reporting. We've had a lot of requests from people that say, hey, I want to know what videos are taking up all this bandwidth, or, because right now the reporting that we have is per day. So you can see how many gigabytes or megabytes you're using in each individual day. But we have a lot of requests on more specific reporting on that. So we're working on getting that down to a per video basis. So you can see which are your more popular videos. If you want to cut down your bandwidth, you can change the resolution on that with the feature that Peter talked about before. Or if you're just curious to see which videos are so popular, obviously you can use your own analytics for that. But if you want bandwidth reporting, we're working on that as well. So that's second quarter. That should all be coming out in the next, what do we have? February, March, April. We have about 6 weeks left in the quarter, almost 6 weeks. So should be done with all that within the next 6 weeks. Third quarter, screen recording extension. This is something that's been on our backlog for a while. We used to have a screen recording module in the app that we dumped for a Chrome extension. The Chrome extension wasn't working quite how we wanted it to work, so we sort of took a back step on that. We're going to be totally redoing how we created that Chrome extension. So that will allow a lot of people to ditch other tools that they're using for that stuff and just use the extension to record videos for video emails. If you're in sales, you're doing a lot of video emails, video messages, coaching, education, stuff like that. If you just want to make a quick video, you don't want to use your phone, you don't want to use your camera, you just want to use your webcam, that'll be available in the third quarter. Live streaming, again, something that's been obviously super popular with what's been happening over the past 18 months. Get more and more popular. We get that request almost every day of live streaming. That's a pretty big feature that we'll be working on. So that'll start in the next month or so, and hopefully that'll come out around mid third quarter. And we're excited about that feature. I think a lot of people are going to be excited about that too. And in addition to those two things, we want to sort of improve and rework how the other publishing options that we have work. So we have our embed code, we have our watch page, and then the other two publishing options are the pop-up or modal windows and the email publishing. So how the GIF image or the GIF image that you can add to your emails to increase click-throughs in your emails works. So we'll be reworking those two features and adding features to those as well to make them not only easier to use, but more robust. Okay, that's really one of the driving things of this year is going to be, we want it easy, but we still want it robust. So that's what we want to do with those two features. So that's third quarter. And fourth quarter, plugin. Again, that's something we had back in the day that we pretty much same idea as the Chrome extension. It wasn't quite working the way we envisioned it, so we had to take a step back from it. I don't know if it still works or not. Actually, we did release a small update to it so that it works with the new rebrand, but we need to rebuild it because the way it was built originally isn't what we really want it to be like in so many words. So we've had a lot of requests on the plugin. People like to be able to just stay in WordPress and not have to go back outside of WordPress. So we'll be working on that and we're releasing a totally new plugin for Spotlightr. Team account management, pretty much, being able to add users to your account with their own usernames and passwords and their own access to the account. If you want to limit people to just being able to upload or edit, we're going to be working on that. So you can add different members of your team or assistants or marketing team, stuff like that. Additional storage and bandwidth options. Peter, I'm blanking. What's this feature that we're working on? Storage and bandwidth options. What's this reference to?
So additional storage and bandwidth options have been requested very frequently, and they are significantly extending our hybrid capabilities in allowing users. Currently, we offer Amazon S3 as an option that you can define your own S3 account, which you can provide for storage if you don't want to use our hosting and you want to manage your costs of storage consumption differently. So we're thinking of adding additional hosting providers, some of which are Wasabi, DigitalOcean, Spaces, Google cloud hosting, etc. And the same basically applies to bandwidth. We want to allow our users to specify their own bandwidth provider that they will leverage to stream their videos from wherever they're hosted.
Yes, thank you for covering my brain fart there. So yeah, additional storage bandwidth options. So if you do have requests on that, let us know. Hopefully you're aware of this already, but Spotlightr.com/ideas. This is where I just put a link into the chat. This is where you go to request features, request ideas, vote on features that we're already thinking about working on. So if you have any feedback on any of this stuff or really anything in general, that's where we want you to go. And that includes for the galleries as well. If you hit us up in the help desk on chat or emails, that's fine too. We'll add it ourselves, but if you can go to Spotlightr.com/ideas, that's optimal because everything is organized in an application that we use to organize all of your requests there. So last one is funnels module. Yeah, funnels. Originally, the use case for funnels was a lot of revolved around marketing use cases. And we've had a lot of other use case ideas coming over the last 18 months or so, 2 years. This has been on the backlog for a while as well, and we definitely want to get to it by the fourth quarter this year. I can tell you a lot of the rework is going to be around quizzes and I wouldn't say tests, but more of what's more useful for you guys that are in coaching and education, as opposed to just use cases in marketing. So a lot of stuff revolving around those use cases. If you have anything else that you can see, how you'd be able to use funnels, please do go to spotlightr.com/ideas and let us know. Did I miss anything on any of that, Peter?
No, that was a good overview of the roadmap.
All right, that's really it, guys. We got, I guess, we went over. I didn't think we'd go this long, but let's take about another 8 or 10 minutes to go questions here. Peter, did you already answer some in chat? I don't know if I saw you.
Yeah, whatever I caught as simple answers.
Okay, let's see here.
I'm loving a comment from William. Said, Bill, you took Peter's beard. That was not a feature request.
Yeah, we swapped. COVID really drove my beard in, my caveman beard in. Let's see here. We will continue. If I replace the public, I think you answered. Did you answer this one? Christian's asking, if I replace the publish link with the watch link, the URL will display instead of the video. It looks like OEmbed doesn't work with a new player. Does OEmbed work with a new player yet?
Depends. OEmbed is a funny game. So there is native OEmbed, which does work with the new player, and there are OEmbed providers such as what's the one that we've been using, Embedly, and I don't think we're still listed as Spotlightr on there. That's something that we need to add.
Okay. Let's see here. Do you have an example of gallery? I think we already went through that.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be a feature role to give limited access to our V? As you already answered, Malcolm. Am I the only one who thinks these features with galleries are getting too easy, getting worried that rookies can come in and put me out of business? Sorry, man. Galleries.
Power to the people.
Yeah. Any idea how my affiliates bring traffic? Galleries looking good so far. Any idea on? Oh, you answered them. Crypto. Chris, just request that in spotlightr.com/ideas for crypto. Can't get payments on that yet. It's only through Stripe. Stripe doesn't accept. Can you set up crypto?
I believe Stripe accepts some crypto. Okay. And I'm not sure what, but it's slightly more complex to integrate that. Certainly, we don't support it this time, but yeah, definitely available as an option. Just make sure you note that as a feature request. Who knows in distant future if this really kind of takes off? So we might be adding additional payment providers to Stripe, right? So some crypto networks, PayPal or Authorize.net or whatever, right? So this can grow beyond Stripe.
Yeah. William's asking, did you answer this one? I don't think so. The content description widget will be added under the video. Is he talking about?
I was confused by this, and William can clarify, but maybe he's talking about sort of like you have the video, and then in the galleries you have a video, and then underneath them you can have a description of that video. Like in this video, we're reviewing whatever edition, and in the next video, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Well, right now, the only description we have for galleries is the gallery description, which would be under the gallery title. So on the top left of the gallery would be the title and description. Top right will be the trailer video if you choose to have one. The trailer video, by the way, I don't think we mentioned that video is available to anyone that even if they haven't paid or they have.
Point. Sorry.
I
said that's a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that trailer video is accessible to anybody, even if they haven't paid or have a access code. So that's why we call it trailer video, right? if you want to sort of put an intro to your gallery or describe what your gallery is about, you can use that intro video to help people understand what your gallery is about if they don't have a access code or paid for it yet. Webinar is being recorded, David. Yes, we will send out a recording tomorrow. Which plans will they be available? Fernando, I'm assuming you're talking about the features we talked about.
Galleries, I'm assuming.
Yeah, galleries is available to all accounts. I mean, that's something that's pretty much, I think, everything we talked about here is going to be free. Sorry, Peter?
Galleries are not available on free.
Right, not free. Right, all paid accounts, I should say. Yeah, I mean, the screen recording extension, WordPress plugin, that's all going to be on paid accounts. The live streaming is different. I'm not sure what accounts that's going to be available on. The live streaming will include additional charges, most likely. Live streaming isn't free for us, so we will need to pass some of that cost on to our customers. No idea what's involved with that yet, as the options of live streaming change quite frequently. So obviously we'll try to make that as affordable as possible, but there will very likely be additional charges for live streaming if that's something you want to use. The other stuff is already included: pop-up and email publishing, plugin for all accounts, team account management. Team account management probably only subscription accounts, and additional storage bandwidth options, that'll be only subscription accounts. Funnels modules already only subscription accounts. Let's see here. Melissa, download. Yeah, the download options on Spotlightr have been reworked completely, and we're still working on it. We're going to come out, I think next week we're going to have a release on that. Peter, do you think, or the week after for downloads?
I can't confirm that it's on next week, but it's actively being worked on. Yeah. So due to the shift to AWS, all of the files were moved, which kind of messed up some of the download generating options. And as Bill mentioned, we kind of reworked that, so we're doing a much better job with new videos now. But for old videos, they will be available for download in the near future.
Christian, I use Lifter LMS and it has a built-in player. I can only enter the URL, not the embed code. With the old player, it works. With the new one, it doesn't. All right, just send us a ticket on that, Christian. We'll look into that and see what kind of options are we can work with Lifter LMS. I'm not entirely familiar with that one, but send us a ticket. We'll check it out. My license is Enterprise. Does this include all? Yeah, Enterprise has the same features as Polaris, Gary. Direct sponsorships are getting increasingly important to generate income. Yep. Are you planning further customizations for pre-post roll videos? Example, multiple videos to be displayed in pre-post. We have no current plans to increase features for pre and post, but definitely submit that feature request. So you're looking for multiple videos to be displayed in pre-roll. So right, so add one of two, add two of two sort of idea. Gotcha. Yeah, please submit that idea for that, and we'll be glad to take a look at that. When will the regular webinars come back, Alex? Well, we're not going to be, as of right now, we're not going to be doing webinars on any type of schedule. What we're going to be doing is we want to make them more valuable for everybody. So what we're going to be doing is holding them when we have really something important to talk about. So we could have probably had a webinar a little earlier than we did this time to talk about the player and the infrastructure changes, to answer a bunch of questions. Also about the switch to Polaris from our other subscriptions. But it's been just been so crazy. We put it off, and then once galleries came out, we really thought now's the time to talk to everybody and put out a webinar. I can tell you that our goal is at least one per quarter, if not more, like two per quarter. I wouldn't even know if we're gonna have one a month. Probably maybe one every 2 months. I think is probably where we'll be at. I think that's probably every 2 months as far as our development cycle is concerned. every 2 months is probably where we'll be at, where we have, a lot where we can review and talk to you guys about and let you know what we're doing. So that's does that sound about right, Peter? Every 2 months, maybe every,
Yeah, quarterly, definitely. I mean, quarterly will be a good practice for us, both to kind of get in touch with the users live to kind of gauge what the feedback is and what the questions is. As I mentioned, when we were doing these webinars previously on weekly basis, it was really valuable interaction, but it was drying up quickly in my material wise. So it's definitely beneficial to have them, but as you mentioned, there needs to be content for that, and I think quarterly would be a good practice for them, both for us to realign and get in touch, as well as to check in on our roadmap and all of that stuff. So yeah, quarterly is good.
Steven, haven't heard about audio or podcasting. Yeah, podcast galleries. That's a good idea. I did hear somebody, one or maybe two other people talk about that. Again, submit that request. The more feature requests we get, it's basically like a voting system. I mean, if we have 200 people that request a feature, we're going to work on it. So it's very simple. It's a voting system. And then that gauges our interest. Of that gives us an idea of the interest, and then we decide if that's something that makes sense in the direction of the platform and the business model, and what we want to provide for our customers. Okay, thank you, Mayane. And yeah, William, it's only for uploads right now. I mean, uploads are not just MP4s. We do support a couple other file extensions or file types. But yeah, right now it's uploads only. If hybrid, if the links is important to you, again, please go ahead and submit that feature request. We've had some requests on that already. I can see us supporting that in the near future. So definitely submit that request, and we'll consider it. I think I got them all. Any other last minute questions? Yep, you're welcome, William. Thank you. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. It's Merpuya. Thank you very much. Mike, do we support 4K? I believe we do.
You do.
Did that change? Yeah.
Nope.
I'll give it 2 or 30 more seconds to see if anybody else chimes in. That doesn't look good. JR, thanks. All right, I think we're good. Thanks, Dean. Can it be integrated in DUDA website? I'm not sure what that is. Do you know what that is, Peter?
I Googled it just now. It's a platform builder similar to Squarespace or Wix. So
Okay.
basically, if that platform has an ability for you to enter in HTML content on your page within the builder, you can just use our embed code to place it within that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these platforms, if they accept HTML, then they should accept us. Keep in mind, a lot of them don't like any Java scripts running on their platform, so they cut that from our embed code. So if they accept HTML and they don't mind scripts running, then it'll work. Some platforms are just really restrictive. Wix is one of those really restrictive platforms. I'm not even sure if they support. I think they strip our code. I don't remember. Do you remember if we worked on Wix?
Wix, from what I remember, and even in those contexts which you mentioned, where the platform doesn't like JavaScript running, there is an option of the fallback code, which is somewhat limited in the interaction, but it still provides a good video delivery experience.
Right. So if it doesn't work if the regular embed code doesn't work, Chris, try the fallback code, or obviously you can always send us a ticket. All right. Thanks, everybody. Again, thank you so much for joining, and we'll send that replay out, and we'll see you next time in a couple of months. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye. Bye.